Tesla is canceling this Model 3. No, it's not fake news, not clickbait, this is real. In fact, the new Model 3 is already here, and it's now available for delivery in many parts of the world. That means what is now the original Model 3 will quickly become phased out, and in just a matter of months, Tesla is going to stop making this model entirely, which might lead you to a couple of interesting questions. Should you upgrade to the new Model 3? What does that mean for the current Model 3 that exists right now? Is this maybe Tesla's hidden gem? Does it have some advantages? And if you're looking to buy a Tesla Model 3 or even a Model Y, do you buy right now and sort of lock in what you know you have, or wait for what may or may not be coming at potentially a much higher price? Honestly, this car might be one of Tesla's best kept secrets because it's got some advantages that not many people know about, and you don't want to make a mistake and buy the wrong one. So if you're looking to buy a Tesla, definitely watch this video because I've got a couple of big secrets that you need to know about, and I'll tell you why this Model 3 may or may not be worth it. And also, if you own a Model 3, you want to watch this video to tell me I'm right, I'm wrong, or know if it's really worth selling your current Model 3 and going with this all-new Highland refresh. And a huge thanks to Autel for sponsoring this video. More on them in just a moment. So let me start this video with a little bit of important context. For those who don't know, especially my viewers in the United States, Tesla recently released an all-new Model 3, and customers are now taking delivery of this all-new upgraded Model 3 all over the world. For whatever reason, I know I've said this before, but I'll say it again, the international rollout of this vehicle doesn't make any sense because it's an amazing upgrade. You can buy it in many parts of the world. Tesla's even starting to advertise this vehicle around the world, something they've really never done before. But here in the US, it's still a secret. They won't acknowledge it exists. And the latest and greatest Tesla you can buy, according to Tesla North America, is this Model 3, which already around the world is old, outdated, and antiquated, and Tesla stopped making it. That's because this new Model 3, the Project Highland refresh, has tons of big upgrades that fix a lot of the issues with this older model. It's quieter, it's got a smoother ride, it's got cooled ventilated seats, it's got a rear display, it's got a better sound system, a new dash, a faster, more responsive display, a new design on the inside and the outside. There are many instances where the current Model 3, or I should say the older Model 3, as great as it was, had some big downsides, and now Tesla has fixed many of those issues with this new Model 3, but it's not perfect. It does have some issues, and not to be hyperbolic here, but it is true that the older Model 3 does have some pretty unique advantages. So if you're in North America like me, and you're looking to buy a Tesla, what do you do? Because we already know that this Model 3 is going to be replaced. It's going to be outdated in just a matter of, well, weeks or months at this point. This new model should be launching in North America in the first 3 months of the new year. What are you supposed to do? Well, I can tell you as someone who has lived with the Model 3, the base cheapest model you could get for the last year or so, I've got some important thoughts, things you definitely want to consider and things you need to know to sort of help you make that decision one way or the other. And I'm going to talk about my personal experience with this car more in a moment because I do have a lot to say. But first, before I even get to the car, we should probably talk numbers. Taking a look at the Model 3 lineup right now, there are 3 options you can get. But also more importantly here is that there are some incredible savings to be had right now and only right now. In fact, the base model, the cheapest model you can get from Tesla today, can be leased for 3 years, 10,000 miles a year, $4,500 down for just $329 a month, or you can pay or finance the full retail price of $38,990, and that is before any incentives, any state incentives, local incentives, or the big one right now, that $7,500 federal tax credit. Okay, so we know the new Model 3 is coming and there's some features there that are very nice, but if you do decide to not wait, you buy this car to lock in those price savings, you want to lock in the tax credit and other incentives you may get, what kind of car are you getting and what exactly is missing? Behind me here is my wife's car. This is the cheapest Model 3 you can buy today. It's the cheap, or I should say the standard, it's not really cheap. It's a standard rear-wheel drive Model 3. It's got 280 miles of range, 0 to 60 in about 5.8 seconds. It's got all the base configurations here. What do you get with this car? What's the good? What's the bad? And also, what are you missing on this car that's gonna be on the new Model 3? I'm gonna keep this brief because I got a lot of other stuff to talk about in this video, but let me give you some quick thoughts and show you what you do and don't get. I'll keep my thoughts on this pretty brief because overall, this is an amazing car, and I think it's not only one of the best value Teslas you can buy today, but it's really one of the best value cars you can get on the road. All electric, great performance, great range, about 280 miles, 0 to 60 again in 5.8 seconds. You've got a battery you can charge up to 100%. And also, again, when you look at the MSRP plus incentives, plus tax credits, plus other discounts I'll get into in a moment in this video, you're looking at like mid to low 30s for a brand new Tesla, and this car isn't going to disappoint. It's got great range, great efficiency, it's comfortable, it's quiet, it is packed with tech. There really isn't anything I dislike about this car, and it is great in many cases, but there are some creature comforts coming with the new Model 3 and a couple of things you should know about. As good as this car is, some of the new stuff is going to be better. For example, if you want a car with the newest, latest, greatest design, this isn't going to be it. What's interesting too is that for the last couple of years, there really wasn't a way to differentiate a 2019 or 2020 Model 3 from a 2023 Model 3. There really wasn't a way to know if the car was 2 weeks old or 2 years old, but that is about to change. That's because the moment the new Model 3 hits the road, this design immediately becomes obsolete. And again, it's not a bad design. I know some people don't like the design of the new car, they don't like the design of this model, but whatever your thoughts are, it doesn't matter. This car is immediately going to look old when Highland upgraded Model 3 hits the road because, well, it's almost totally different. It's not just the outside of the car that's going to look drastically different, it's also the interior of the car as well. It is very similar to the new Model 3 with a couple of big exceptions. One of the big ones being the removal of the wood trim. A lot of people thought this would look dated when it came out in 2019 or 2018, 2019, and even in 2023, this looks very dated. Then Tesla decided to extend it to the door as well, which I again think looks very dated. You've also, of course, on the new Model 3 got the RGB ambient lighting that goes all the way around the car and is built into the sides of the door. You've got a faster screen. Technically speaking, the cars are very similar, which I'll come back more into in just a second, but I will say that the interior of the car is going to be pretty different, and also for the back of the car as well. You've got a rear display back here for rear passengers that can control air, and you can control or watch movies and do different things. That's not going to be here on this model. And also ventilated seats. One of the things I'd really love to see on the new, or on the current Model 3 that's not here, is going to be on the new one as well. So lots of creature comforts, and again, a pretty big design shift from this now older Model 3 to the new one. Now, whether you're a longtime Tesla owner or you just took delivery of your very first EV, I think we can all agree that one of the best benefits of owning an EV is home charging. It's simple, it's easy, you plug in, it's way cheaper than gas, it's great. But one of the downsides is trying to find the best home charger for you, because it's not as easy as you'd think. That is until now, because I think I've found the best home charger that you're gonna love. The perfect charger is this. It's the Maxi Charger AC Lite made by Autel. But this is not any Maxi Charger AC Lite, because this is a limited Christmas edition one that I have here that comes in this beautiful deep green box with subtle sparkles, super nice. It's got these really cool sort of 3D sort of sticker type things that are three-dimensional and EV themed and Christmas themed. My family absolutely loves it. And of course, you've got the super sleek charger itself in this stunning white color with this beautiful green accent around the charging holster that just looks incredible. Honestly, the AC Lite is just perfect. There are so many things I love about this charger. The install is super easy. Again, it's got a really great design, but also it's giving you an incredible amount of power to easily recharge your car at home, giving you up to 38 miles of charge per hour, or if you're like me with a more traditional 40 amp circuit, I'm still recharging really quickly at about 30 miles of range per hour. I also love that you can get this charger charger in two versions, one hardwired if you want the more clean and streamlined look, or if you've got an NEMO 1450 plug, you can get one that just plugs right into that and you're good to go. The cable is going to use a standard J1772 connector, so it's going to work with all major EVs, and of course, it's going to work beautifully and perfectly with your Tesla with the standard adapter the car comes with. And for me, being the techie that I am, I love that the AC light has so many amazing smarts and technology built in. It can get connected to the internet super easily, and with that, it can receive regular firmware updates, and it can add new features and just sort of make itself better over time automatically, and also gives you the full power of the mobile companion app as well. Here you can adjust charging speed, check the status of your charge, and so much more super easily right on your phone anytime. So if you want to learn more, check it out for yourself today, hit the link down below. And also for limited time, they've got this Christmas edition, this limited edition Christmas edition that is absolutely stunning, that I really love, and you've got to check out for yourself. So again, learn more and check out the Autel Maxi Charger AC Light for yourself today at the link right down below in the description. But despite those design differences, technically speaking, these cars are very similar to the actual compute power and cameras that they've got around the car. For example, while the new Model 3s do have the new Hardware 4 system with higher resolution cameras and a couple of other cameras, these older Model 3s with Hardware 3 is not a bad system to have. You've got cameras all around the car, in the side here, in the pillars, in the front. This Hardware 3 system is still very capable and is still going to give you full access to things like full self-driving beta, enhanced autopilot, regular autopilot that comes standard with the car. And like I said, after owning this car for over a year now, there is really not much I dislike about it. I don't like that Tesla doesn't include a cable with the car. I don't like that they don't include floor mats with the car. Yes, you've got a subpar audio system in this car versus the long range, but all those things still apply, to my knowledge, with the newer upgraded Model 3 as well. So that really hasn't changed. Besides that, it's been super comfortable. It's been fun to drive. The Model 3 is nimble. It's fast. It's just a fun experience, and there really isn't any downside. Really, the one thing to keep in mind is just those creature comforts, those design changes. If you want a better audio system, if you want a faster screen, you want the new design on the outside, you want the cooled seats, there's a lot of creature comforts here. And I think the big thing that is hard to justify with this vehicle is that the new vehicle is probably going to be about the same price. So if you're going to be paying full price for a vehicle, why buy now when you can get so much with the newer model? Though there are a couple of things you should keep in mind in terms of pricing, because this car actually might have a secret, and it might actually be one of Tesla's best deals ever if you know where to look for the discounts. Like I mentioned a few minutes ago, pricing here is a big deal. And when you compare the low MSRP price to all of the federal and state incentives that are active right now and maybe changing next year, it definitely makes you think that this might be a really good time to buy, especially when you're looking at like the mid 30s, even low 30s for a brand new Tesla. You factor in maintenance savings, fuel savings. Tesla has their own calculator on their site. You could sort of trust that, but it's a little bit more liberal than you might be with your gas. And I guess it sort of depends on location and driving and all that. But the savings here are significant, and all of those incentives are very attractive. And again, Tesla is very clearly warning on their website that federal incentives may change. And if the federal guidelines for tax credit do change and the battery chemistry requirements change, this car may go down to 50% eligibility for the $7,500 federal tax credit, or it could even lose it entirely. So it's definitely something to keep in mind, that if you want to maximize your savings, the best time to do that is right now before the end of the year. Clock's ticking. And it's not even straight vehicle pricing, but it's also incentives Tesla offers themselves as well. It seems like every quarter or so, Tesla's offering some big push, some big incentive to make those delivery goals at the end of the quarter, and have done things like allowing you to transfer full self-driving from an older Tesla to a newer Tesla. They've given away free supercharging miles. They've given away end of quarter discounts. They oftentimes give many, many goodies in order to get these units moving, and that's likely not going to be the case once this new model comes out. So Tesla's obviously doing a lot to sort of get the current Model 3 inventory out the door before this new model is ready here in the US. And there are some good discounts to be had in terms of end of quarter incentives. I think Tesla has some free charging you can get if you live in Texas. The incentives sort of vary quarter by quarter, state by state, but definitely look into that because it's a thing. There's also currently the referral bonus right now where you can, I believe, get $500 off the purchase of a Tesla if you use a link like mine down below. And also, totally for free, you get money off plus 3 full months of full self-driving. And then beyond the base price and Tesla incentives and referral bonuses, there's also just straight discounts Tesla's giving on this car as well, especially in their existing inventory system. If you go to Tesla's website and you look at the pre-built cars in their existing inventory, oftentimes here, depending on when you look, you can find some pretty sweet deals on pre-made, ready-to-go Model 3s. These discounts can range from a few $100s to a few $1,000s. It really depends on where you are and what goodies Tesla is looking to offer, but many have been able to score some really significant discounts, especially on the Model 3, since Tesla's trying to get rid of these. There have been thousands of dollars of discounts to be had. And then, of course, in addition to price, there still are 2 advantages to what is now this older Model 3. One of the big ones with all of the year models is stocks. If you do want the stocks, I've seen a lot of comments, people see the new Model 3 and they go, no stocks, no sale. If you want to have those physical stocks, you don't like all the touch sensitive buttons on the wheel and the screen and all that, then you're going to want to go with this model. It's going to have those controls. Tesla has a very, very sparse, minimal interior, and it's getting even more sparse on that new Model 3. So if you're not a fan, that's going to be a reason to go with this older design. One of the other big advantages here with like September 2022 Model 3s and earlier is the ultrasonic sensor system. As someone who recently switched to a vision-only Tesla car, basically all the new Teslas just use cameras in their vision system. They don't have ultrasonic sensors. It's way less reliable. It's sort of a nightmare, and Tesla made this switch very, very early. But if you were to get like a year-old-ish Model 3, you can get it with ultrasonic sensors, and it is much better than the vision system, and is going to be way easier and way more reliable to park your vehicle or exit your vehicle from a garage or a tight space because those physical sensors are there. Can't say the same for all the new Teslas you can get these days. And honestly, I can tell you, it just sort of puts buyers in a very tough spot right now. I think that if you're in one of the countries where this new Model 3 is available, well, you only have 2 choices. Either go with the new one or buy another one used. And you can sort of make that decision for yourself. In the United States, though, it's a much tougher decision to make because you're basically buying a Model 3 right now that you know is going to be obsolete in a couple of months, and you've got to weigh the pros and the cons, though I do think it's definitely worth considering the price, the savings, the discounts, the incentives, because those will likely change over the next couple of months. Even though the new Model 3 will likely be priced about the same to the current models we've got right now, and it does have some new features and stuff, pricing is something to consider, so definitely think about that. I'll also say quickly here on the Model Y as well, that's another point of contention and concern sort of internationally because we already know that Tesla's working on this bigger upgrade for the Model Y, but it's probably still a year away. You're probably a little bit safer buying a Model Y right now because like I just said, the new Model Y wouldn't be available for at least a year, and that's at the earliest, so that's a bit of an easier decision, but just sort of keep in mind that Tesla's always making changes, but it's tough right now because we know these changes exist. These changes, these new Teslas are already available in certain parts of the world, but in North America specifically, a bit of a tricky situation, so hopefully I could give you just a little bit of help here and a little bit of context in this video. So as always, guys, I want to know your thoughts on this. Let me know down below your thoughts on this, the older Model 3 versus the newer Model 3. Should you buy now? Should you wait? Are the changes worth it? Let me know your thoughts down below. Also, I want to give a huge thank you to all of you who have subscribed to my newsletter, my free Tesla newsletter. It's called Tesla News Weekly. It's available for free down below, teslanewsweekly.com. If you made it this far into the video, I want to do some giveaways and give away some Amazon gift cards, not by Telegram, not doing one of those things. I'll email you. But please don't fall for those comments. But if you have subscribed to the newsletter, please drop a comment below. Let me know you subscribe to Tesla News Weekly. If you haven't, if you could subscribe anywhere in the world, it's totally free. And I'll be doing some giveaways in the comments down below. As always, thank you guys so much for your support. I so appreciate it. And thank you also to Drive Protected, who is our inaugural sponsor for the newsletter. They're linked down below as well. Great DIY PPF kits. As always, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I'm Robert Rosenfeld, TeslaNewsWeekly.com. I'll see you all in the next one.